This screencast is going to show you how you can embed a newsletter, a weekly newsletter within your SchoolWire's teacher website so that you only have to update a Google Doc every week. You'll embed it once and then it'll just live update, um, every week without you having to go in and creating a new link to your site. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a page for my newsletter. So I'm just going to call it newsletter. And then I'm going to just choose the most basic page there is, even though we're not going to be typing text into it. We're going to actually be getting an embed code app and um, pasting an embed code in it. So I added that flex page right there, and then I went to manage apps, and now I'm going to actually add the app that we need, which is the embed code app. We're going to create a new one. We'll call it newsletter Google Doc. And now here it is. I won't need the Flex Editor app. You could leave it for additional information if you wanted to, but I'm going to actually just delete that. And then I'm done editing the layout and the apps on my page. So now we'll be ready to just paste our embed code in once we have it ready to go. So I have my newsletter that I have set up, and I just pulled a template from Google Docs. So if I actually come out here to Google Docs, I'll show you where I got it from. There's newsletter options. You can actually click through the template gallery and see which one you want, but I'll go back. So obviously I would change this picture to make it more like my classroom. And then I added a table that has all the months and then each week for the newsletters that I would be completing. Now, since it's already November, I would just use these date ranges and I would link out to the newsletters that I have already created. But what we're going to do from here is we're going to actually, within this same document, so I'm going to be embedding this, but within this same document, we're going to have our newsletters on different pages. So for example, here's where week 3 starts from September 4th through the 8th. Here's where week 4 would start. And I just kind of pasted these titles in. There's no content yet. And it could go on, even if your weekly newsletters go on for a couple pages, it doesn't matter. This will be the starting point where the reader will be linked to. So what I did is I made sure that after I typed in my heading here, instead of just normal text, I chose heading, and that's really important because that is going to allow you to link to a specific point in the document. So I'm going to go back up to my table, and I'm going to link the week of 4/8 to that point in the document. I'm going to apply it. Then I'm going to link this one to 11:15, apply it in the document, and so on and so forth. So that's the crucial part, is making those headings. You can make it heading 1 or heading 2 and it'll be in this drop down, but that's why these are showing up. If I did not do that, then you wouldn't see those actually listed. And you can see up here, even this is an option for me to link to it in the document, but that's at the very beginning of the document. Check back for weekly updates. So you don't have to use all of these, obviously, but anything you make a heading 1 will show up within this drop down list. So let's update that one. Apply. and the 25th through the 29th. So then I would do the next month and I would continue. So would be just a working document. And it's kind of like a table of contents that is just linking to a specific point in the doc. All right, so let's say I have, even just my first week done and I'm ready to post this on my website. I'm going to come up to share, and I do want parents to see this, obviously. So right now, by default, anyone at Hudson City Schools, that would not work because our parents don't have those logins. So I'm going to click on advanced and change that to anyone with the link so that anybody outside of our domain will be able to see it and just view it, obviously, as well. You don't want them editing. I'm going to click done. And then here's the other piece. You notice, I could get a link on our website, but we want it to actually be embedded so that it looks nice when they go to the page. And we just get a link here. So what we need to do is we actually need to come under File and we need to go to Publish on the Web. This is where we're able to get the embed code. So I'm going to click Publish. It's going to kind of question whether you truly want this to be published on the web. I'm going to click OK. And then it gives me, by just clicking over to embed, it gives me that embed code. So I'm going to copy it, go back to my embed code, and now I want to show you something. When this is on our site, oops, that's right, I have it under protected view. When this is on our site, the embed code currently is really tiny, okay? So it gets kind of quirky with school wires, but there's a workaround for that. And the workaround is actually on our intranet. So I went to our intranet and then under faculty handbooks and under our teacher website, expectations and resources. This gives you, of course, resources on building out your teacher website. So I've listed the additional little bit of code. So I'm going to click on news of classroom activities and events. That's going to take me to the point in the document where it even says, note, when embedding Google Docs, it might help to copy this HTML before the end tag to get the size you want. And then here's the screenshot that I added. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this so that you're noticing I'm putting in pretty much that the width needs to be much bigger than what we're seeing right now on the site. So I'm just going to copy that. And then you'll notice that I'm going to put it right after these quotation marks and right before that little end tag right there. Okay. Let's X out of that. So right here, if you can see where that cursor is, right after the quotation marks and right before the end tag, I'm just going to paste it right in. I'm going to space. Everything else looks good. Now I'm going to save it. And we're really just telling this embed code now that we want it to be much bigger in terms of the viewing window. Let's view the page, see if that worked. And sometimes I'll just play with those numbers, but that's much better. And then it'll keep going since this document's technically really long. But now, as a viewer, these are all live links within this doc, and I can click to that point and it's going to take me to, whatever information was on that week. So just a nice way to quickly view, whatever week they're on, all of that information. All right. So we will be here obviously to support you and get you going with this. But this is just a nice way. Once it's set up now, all I have to do each week is I'm adding a new date range, and then I'm going to that point in the document and adding the information, linking it here, and I'm done because it's live updating on my website. You never have to go out to school wires. So in the long run, once this initial document is set up, it's going to save you a lot of time and hopefully headache. Thanks.